Hi guys, you have reached Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. I'm Cheryl, and if this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If not, welcome back. For all of you out there, I hope you hit the subscribe button. I hope you hit the like button if you like this video, and I hope you share my video with your friends and family and tell your friends and family about my channel. So right now, I want to have a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills moment. The hot topic right now with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is, of course, Erika Jayne and her husband Tom Girardi, and their whole situation, divorce, money laundering, stealing money, their whole situation, alleged of stealing money. It's dreadful. But what's even sadder is the fact that Tom, her husband, Erika Jayne's husband, is 81 years old. And, I hate to say this. First of all, if everything that they are being accused of is true, a total shame on them. And more importantly, my heart goes out to all the victims that did not get their money from these lawsuits that Tom was defending people against, but never gave them their money, allegedly. Now Tom, his partners, our partner is suing him. Things when he goes to court don't seem to be going in his favor. And I just read an article today saying he was possibly hospitalized because of all of the stress and everything that he is currently going through in court and in terms of this case that they have. I like to say this is so terrible, but I don't know, long time ago they had this movie called Bonnie and Clyde, and Bonnie and Clyde was just reckless. They killed people, they robbed, they stole. I mean, they was a menace to society in that movie, and in the end they get shot up and killed and whatever by the police. And like you feel like I did, you feel so bad for them, and I'm like, why am I feeling bad for these people that were just menace to society, and they was just terrorists, and they was just robbing and killing and stealing from people, and at the end, now when it's their turn because they're getting caught, like, why am I feeling bad for them? I feel like this same way with not Erika so much, but her husband Tom, 81 years old. And the judge also said, when I was reading this article, I think they said that there is a chance that they may revoke his law license, or however that goes. So sad that at 81, first of all, I don't care who you are, just going to college, and getting a 4-year degree, you got to do a lot of studying. It can be hard for some people. I mean, some people are just naturally born smart and they could just, whip through college, whip through high school, whatever. But, for the average person, like, you have to study, and it takes so much, and you graduate from with a 4-year degree. But then imagine going on to law school, and then you got to pass the bar, and then you become this, you build yourself up that you have your own law firm and you have partners and you are this prestigious lawyer, and then you come in, like, I guess your golden years of life. 81, God bless you to be here 81 years so far, and at the 81st year, in 81 years, now you're becoming a disgrace. Like, you're being accused of, taking your clients' money, taking your money from your partners. When I read the article, I think it said something about, he just, like, taking more. It's a mess. And it's like, 81 years old, you come to this point in your life, and to be in this type of trouble, like, where do you go from there? Of course, my prayers go out to any one of his alleged victims that, were expecting money and they did not get their money and they did not get their funds. Especially the way that Erika Jayne and Tom, her husband, were just, well, more Erika is the face of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but the way she was just flaunting on there with the money and wearing the designer clothes and, talking about her glam scar. And here it is, victims that went to a lawyer they trusted, and they allegedly did not get their money. So it's not looking good for Erika or her husband Tom. The sadder part is that perhaps at 81 you may go to jail and spend the rest of your life in jail. And when I say the rest of his life, if he gets 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, what, you come out at what, 90, and you do what? You do what? It's terrible. But if he is found guilty and he does have to do jail time, do I think he should go to jail? Well, listen, they send others to jail. Bill Cosby's in jail. What's that other one that that Hollywood producer? What was it? Harvey Weinstein. He's in jail. So it's like you know, if he is convicted and has to go to jail, then unfortunately, you know, he can't be spared. He has to go to jail with the best of them. You know, there's this old saying, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. And Tom, he's a smart man. That's the thing too. He's not going to get away with this, you know, I didn't know what I was doing. You're a lawyer. He's a very smart man. So there's not much that he's going to get away with. And I don't think, not a judge, nobody is going to take leniency on him, especially because they was just flaunting this money on this show like crazy, where their victims was just probably like waiting and, you know, not getting their funds, and you're on here flaunting and driving in Bentleys and Rolls Royces and living in a ridiculous mansion. You and your wife, y'all have to live in this huge home, and it would be fine if it was actually their money, but allegedly off of other people's money. It's a disgrace. I'm gonna feel horrible. Well, I hate to say that. I don't know. I think it's, I'm not that I'm gonna feel horrible. I think it's going to be horrible if Erika Jayne has to go to jail. But I don't see, unfortunately, I don't see her letting, like, they're going to let her skate away with this, especially because they're going to have all of these interviews from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, how she just sat in front of that TV and those confessions and talked about, you know, how she had a glam squad that cost her 40 grand a month, and she just goes on and on bragging about the money and the cash. And I think the lawyers from the other side, they're gonna rip them to shreds. If this goes to that level, they're gonna rip them through shreds. But I came to give an update to say, you know, the article I read today, it doesn't even look like Tom is gonna be able to really deal with this. And I do wish him well. That article is correct, that he did have to go to the hospital, or he's in the hospital. I wish him well. And of course I wish him 100% recovery, because I think sometimes too with victims, sometimes even if they know they're not going to get, you know, recover the money that was due to them, they want to have their day in court with the person that did them wrong. They want to have their day in court with the person that did them dirty. And that was the biggest, I think, issue or kind of upset that the people had with, you know, his name is not coming to my mind right now, but he was accused of like just kind of, you know, raping or molesting or doing bad things to a lot of young girls. And he ended up hanging himself in the jail, allegedly, that he hung himself, because a lot of people don't believe that theory. But a lot of his victims was just so emotional because they wanted to face him in court. They wanted to have their day in court. They wanted to, you know, tell him how bad, you know, like he made them feel for all the things that, he allegedly had done to them. And I think that, Tom's, alleged victims or clients or whatever, they want to face him. They want to face him and tell him how, them not getting their money, how it devastated their life, and they already suffered a devastation to begin with. That's why they came to him. Like, if you can't trust your lawyer, then what? So anyway, Erika and Tom, not looking good. And I'm telling y'all right now that I just really feel that the judge is going to be extremely hard on them. Extremely hard on them. To me, they was extremely hard on from the Real Housewives of New Jersey. They was extremely hard on Teresa and her husband. And Teresa and her husband were not doing anything like this situation right here. This situation with Erika and her husband Tom is horrendous. It's dreadful. It's tragic. So if the judge was mean to Teresa and her husband, whew, I don't think Erika and Tom stand a chance. They're in trouble. They're in trouble. And we can pray because everyone deserves forgiveness. And my prayer is that if they do end up having to go to jail, may they at least go to or jail, prison. I don't know the difference between the two, but whatever, if they have to go away for a few years, I hope that they go to a facility that is a little more, I don't know. This is just terrible. I mean, at 81, to possibly be facing jail time or prison time is just dreadful. And that's why for me, I will work 7 jobs before I lie, cheat, and steal. I will work 7 jobs before I lie, cheat, and steal. I would just never. I don't want to see nobody's prison. I don't want to see nobody's jail. I will work 7 jobs. But I just cannot. I just would never. But anyway, guys, I guess, should I say pray for Erika and Tom? And then, yeah, I'm guessing she's going to be on the next season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I don't know how that's going to pan out. I wouldn't even want to, and especially I wouldn't want to go in there if I was Erika, because Erika at some point in the show became one of the mean girls. So you became one of the mean girls. How do you go back on that show now? And you think people not going to bring up about you and your husband? They used to try to come at Erika saying, she didn't really love her husband, and what was she doing with her husband because of the big age difference. And she used to go off like, we've been married 20-something years, blah, 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 blah. Well, honey, I don't know how she would handle it now if she was to go up back on that show. And what? How are you going to talk about this whole divorce? And it'd be one thing if it was just divorce, but it's divorce, it's a scandal, it's about your money and your finances. And what house would she be taping in and walking up to now? Because no matter what she does, if she shows up in the scene in designer, people are going to be blacking out saying that's other people's money. If she has this beautiful, nice condo, whatever, they're going to say she bought it off of, other people's money, the money that her husband stole or her and her husband stole. She's not going to be able to do anything. I don't care if she drives up in the Beamer, a Rolls Royce, or whatever she drives up with. They would literally have to show her walking, never show her in the house, and, not have her film in clothes that you don't really know if it's designer or not. So it can't be any names on her clothes. She can't have nothing that made you see an F or Fendi. She can't have none of that. She would have to literally come just plain clothing that is not obvious what the name is. She would have to walk to every scene. You would have to show her what she's getting ready. Even if the glam squad helped her out, y'all show her in the mirror doing her own makeup. She's going to have to be humble. And I don't know if Erika Jayne is possible with that. I don't know if she's going to be able to do that. But she would have to be humble. Because other than that, if she does anything else, if she comes with designers, she comes in a nice car, they show her in a nice house, condo, townhouse, whatever, high rise, the people are going to drag her for filth. She will not survive another season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I mean, it will be interesting for us to see if she can handle it and how she handles it and how the other girls handle her. But I think it's going to be even worse for her. And if she is not stressed right now, I think she's going to, even though she may need the money, I think she is going to be even more stressed if she goes on that show for another season. Because if the girls on the show don't drag her, all the fans will. All the fans will. I don't care if they see in a nice earring, they see her hair done. They better show Erika doing everything for herself, and I still don't think she's going to win. But anyway, guys, that was my Real Housewives of Beverly Hills moment. I want to thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Hug your friends. Wear your mask when you go outside. And thank you again, guys, for listening. Talk soon.